Hi guys, and welcome to a new edition of Our Life with John Bogdan. Here we are again, running late with the vlog.
Hey, that's life.
Our life is so exciting and it never stops, and sometimes you have to prioritize things, but here we are with a new edition.
Absolutely. Welcome everybody. Hope you're having a great week.
Now, if you like what you see today, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so we know what.
We can let you know when we have new content out, and it really does help our channel if you do, so we'd appreciate that. So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. Let's get started. Hi, I'm John, and this is Bogdan. Join us on our journey as we figure out how to earn a living as artists, introduce you to those we meet, and share what we learn along the way.
So man, there was an amazing almost 3 weeks together.
Has it been 3 weeks?
Oh, I cannot believe it has been 3 weeks. We usually put a vlog out every week, and now it's like
goal.
Piled up all kinds of things.
And you know how every year at New Year you come up with these great resolutions that I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this. Well, this is apparently turning into one of those.
But I know you're very busy this week, especially this week, and I was so exhausted after my exhibition that I was running the entire time with projects, and yet I could not find the energy to put myself together for a video.
And one good example is we were going to take this week kind of to take off, and we were going to go to Mexico, and we were too tired to go on holiday.
I was like,
let's just stay home.
I don't even have time and energy to browse for the flights. And so why don't you just hold it, and we'll do that at some point.
Yeah, we can vacation in our minds.
So let's see what's important for this edition. We want to show you what happened these last few weeks and how exciting our life is sometimes. But also, let's start with Aripa Arte. Aripa Arte is our non-profit. We got the documents, you wrote the bylaws. There was a lot of work involved. So
yeah, we were talking about how exciting our lives are. This is not exciting at all. It's just hard work. I spent the entire week at home this week working on Aripa Arte. And as Bogdan mentioned, we got our paperwork, but that's only the beginning. Once you get the paperwork, you then have to apply for 501c3 tax exempt status. And that's a document that you have to send in, and it takes a certain amount of time. But in order to get that document, you have to do a bunch of other things, like have your bylaws, have your budget ready. You have to have a meeting of your board where you ratify the. So there's a lot of stuff that has to happen before I can do that. And so I spent the entire week plotting out all the things that we still have to do, and it just scares me to death. I mean, this is all brand new to me. This is learning a whole new language. But
again, you shouldn't be that scared, because yes, we're gonna start this small non-profit on a very small dose, in a very small steps. I mean, we're not gonna, which would be great, have a goal to raise $2 million in first year, because that's not possible.
No, we don't have any intention of doing that.
But it was great. Now, let's review, because there was a lot of people there that don't know what this nonprofit is all about. It's helping Romanian artists in need.
To help Romanian artists and to expose, acknowledge, to somehow disseminate knowledge about Romanian contemporary art. So that could be here as well. Yeah. So that might be helping the artists physically, financially. It might be helping them get exhibitions here at the States, or to take people to Romania and give them kind of tours of the art world there. So there's a lot we could do. But in order to get started, you need that paperwork. And in order to get that paperwork, you have to do things like, well, for example, that costs money. And you have to get a system for budgeting, for accounting, for managing all your donors. And there are programs and things that are greatly discounted when you're a nonprofit. But in order to get those discounts, you first have to finish that paperwork. So it's just, I'm really in the weeds right now with it all. It's a lot of fun, but every question that is answered sparks 10 more questions.
It rarely happens that John is missing a week at the studio.
Oh yeah.
So he was home doing research this week.
Hours and hours and hours.
Friends and artists at the studio is like, where's John? Where's John? Where's John? Every day it's just, is John okay? I was like, yes.
Well, the cat has loved it.
He's working. But listen, you've done this week a lot of research. What kind of research?
Well, one of the things first of all, trying to figure out what is due to make that paperwork happen. What I have to get ready so that we can move that along, open bank accounts and things like that. So that has to happen. But then I've been trying to say, if we're going to create a nonprofit that is about helping Romanian artists, we need to talk to some Romanian artists. I mean, just for us to assume that we know what kind of help they need is kind of arrogant. So I'm trying to establish a list of contacts of people we could talk to. And the problem is, when you're trying to talk to people who aren't well established, they don't have emails, they don't have websites. So I'm getting this list of people that I may or may not be able to get in contact with. So it's a very kind of a circular issue.
We will, however, I do have some contacts in Romania.
Yeah.
And through these contacts, they will guide me to the right people and organizations. And,
so it's just a lot of work, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind a lot of work, but it's not very sexy.
What's
at this
next?
point.
What's next for Aripa?
Next for Aripa is for us to have a board meeting to open up bank accounts and to get that paperwork in for the nonprofit status.
And then it's time for you guys to donate.
True. We actually have 2 people who have already asked if they can donate. And I'm like, I don't have a bank account yet.
But that's
Give
great.
me a minute.
That's great. I mean, we are, once this is set up, we need those donations. We need to make this thing work.
Exactly. And like you say, we don't have to be the biggest nonprofit out there, but we do need to make a difference.
But if we are a small one that makes a difference, it means something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we know from our own experience that the people who were there to help us really were appreciated. Because when you're starting out, or if you're just depressed, if you've been doing it for a long time but just aren't making the sales, it would be a great help to people.
And
I
know how that is. However, I wasn't yet in that position of just depending of the art money, because we do other things as well. But I know it can be rough and it can be tough and it can be very stressful. Yeah.
And there's a cultural issue too. I mean, we ran into this, we saw that with John Ross Palmer and some of his mentors that lived abroad, is this whole American kind of concept or approach to life that says anything is possible, get out there and do it, is not necessarily the way people progress in other parts of the world. They feel they need more permission, they feel they need more training.
But sometimes even if you have this attitude of going forward, there'll be somebody there to slap you and send you back to the...
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Let them slap you. I can take a slap.
But anyway, so here we are with Aripa Arte. It's all good. A lot of work needs to be done from now on. First of all, it's a psychological switch as well for me, especially because this is a new thing that I only heard from other people doing it. I never did it. I was never involved in any non-profit organization, so I don't know how to step. It's like stepping on ice, but we'll learn our way.
And the thing too, I think the biggest learning that we need to realize is how to do all of this and not break our back. We need to be able to have a nice workflow to where we work on Aripa for a certain amount of time and then we move on, because it has consumed my entire week. And frankly,
and this is what
I could spend another month and still
I was frightened.
Have things to do.
2 weeks ago I was frightened. We had a conversation about this. And I froze because I'm like, is this gonna completely defocus for what I'm doing now?
It could do.
But I need to make it work somehow. I need to have time for that and time for that.
And what we've experienced throughout our careers is that, the way to get something done is to give it to somebody who's busy. And so we have always learned that, you can carve out just a little more and just stuff in a little more. And we haven't burned out yet. So there's a lot to do, but we can do it.
And we'll keep you informed with all these small steps at a time.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on. So one of the things we've done lately was organizing this event for Nick's book launching, and it was a great success.
Great party, great evening. Congratulations to Nick and for arranging this wonderful reception.
One unbelievable feeling, great people that I have never seen before. Very few people that have been in our studios.
They would never come in otherwise.
And they all have been not only came from the book and got their book from Nick, but they were exposed to our art. It was a fabulous event and a great feedback. And I had 2 sales.
Yeah, it had 2 sales. Yeah, excellent. And let's face it, we don't just do it for the sales. We do it because Nick is a friend and a collector, and those are the relationships that you want to build. So we were delighted to do it. It's one of those things where you work really hard, but I really enjoyed the evening. And so I just think that was magical. So
Yes.
Congratulations to Nick.
Congratulations, Nick.
As a curator, I get familiar with the works, and also you as artists, you know your work. But the visitors, not so much. So I always like to think about the visitors when I put together an exhibition, so it's easier to navigate, to understand, to kind of connect with the art.
Exhibition beginnings.
Beginnings, absolutely.
Wow.
It began.
What a fabulous exhibition, guys, at Silver Sea Studios. Started on the February 4th and ends on March 18th.
Yep.
And you've been, like any other time, super involved in organizing this exhibition, hanging the art, moving the lights, booking the guest, the curator, etc., etc.
Yeah, you make me tired. No, actually, we have an exhibition committee at Silver Street, and so we have this great opportunity to do these tenant exhibitions throughout the year. Just finished one, just started a new one. This one is called Beginnings. We have a guest curator, Rosa Ana Orlando, who really did us proud. She took this 144 pieces of art and from about 40 artists and just arranged them throughout this enormous building and created a really nice story with her curation. We are very, very fortunate. It's a great show. As Bogdan said, it runs for about 8 weeks, and it will hopefully not only expose people to our art who may not come into our studio, but it does make the building, it's a much more pleasant place to come when people do visit.
And I like how she did the curation and her approach, how she curated the whole, whole hallway, because this is an enormous place. For those you guys that don't know, Silver Sea Studios is a enormous space to arrange the art.
And we do try and take the exhibition down all the back hallways because that moves people around the building and by people's studios. People do come to your door and say, I saw your work in the hallway, and they are referred by the sticker to come to us. It's been really good. The last exhibition we sold 18 pieces, which is remarkably good. Hopefully we'll have another good show.
It is fantastic, and
I know we've sold 2 so far.
the reception was great as well. And looking forward, guys, to see you at Silver Sea Studios if you are in Houston every day from now to March 18.
Absolutely. The studios are open 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. And even if the studios, some people don't have their doors open, you can get a sense of everybody's work just by walking around through the exhibition. So congrats to everybody. I think it's going to be a good show.
Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning here. I have decided to go to the studio to crank down some Urbana works because it has been so successful. Almost all the originals have sold, and I'm kind of frightened now. I have some commissions going on the same topic and the same style, and I have no work to show right now. So it's a good thing and a bad thing in many ways. So this is where I am heading to the studio this lovely Sunday, and I'm gonna spend half a day there doing some work, and this is what's going on. So exciting moments and frightening moments in the same time for me, because I never expected Urbana to have this much success, and I don't have large works. All works with Urbana are, medium to small sizes, and yet the commission I have been requested now has to be a 48 by 36. I mean, large pieces. The man was inquiring this at the studio yesterday. Was talking about 10 feet wide piece, but they changed their mind afterwards. So I'm not used to these large pieces. So I'm going to do studio work today. Lately I am playing with Urbana. Either it's photos, either it's paint.
Just do people know who Urbana is?
So Urbana is this creature that came up from the walls of Bucharest, out of graffitis. I wanted to, I photograph a lot of graffiti and decay in Bucharest, and I came in the studio ready to print some pictures, and then I got stuck because I was like, no, this is about somebody else's graffiti. So I need to do something else with those photos. I can't just
try and sell someone else's art.
Yeah, that's just yes, beautiful is great, but you know what? It's not about them. It has to be about me. So messing up with these pictures, face came from nowhere. A face that I called Urbana, and it's the face that. It's in every wall. It's watching us. It's like a saint of the city almost. This is how I see it. And this Urbana, it can be Flora, it can be Zamfira, it can be any name of the woman, because they are all Urbana at the end of the day. So anyway, last week the very first Urbana I have sold, and I'm kind of panicking. Oh my God!
Because they got a lot of attention. People love that story.
Panicking. It's like
there's this spirit of the city.
I've done few of them, And then I stopped because I needed to know, I needed to get some feedbacks from our friends, from collectors, etc. And several of them have sold. And I was panicking. It's like, do you think I can draw this again? I have to do it over and over again. So this last weekend I did kind of a Urbana study, and I went to the studio, and this is what I've done the whole week and the whole weekend, drawing Urbana. And I have new pieces now in the studio, and they are ready for new collectors as well, and they look fantastic.
And people, it's so funny because you kind of explain to people who that character is that appears in the photographs. They're not just photographs, they're mixed media pieces because they're also painted. Urbana is painted. But tell that story, and then a man turned around and said, there she is again. So it's like finding Waldo, looking for Urbana.
It's so funny because I put all kinds of video bites on social media as I work on these things, and one of them have sold recently, and I said sold, la la la, and then some other, later on the week, somebody saw me in the gym actually and said, hey, you sold Urbana. It was so funny to hear that people do follow me on this kind of stories. I was like, that's amazing.
That's beautiful. You can't ask for better than that.
So Urbana, has some new names.
And she's got her own following.
I have Zamfira now. I have I can't remember right now. Sorry, Flora, and they are all new and ready for viewing.
So yeah, the other exhibition that you just finished in January was the Nature Remembered, and you've already sold some pieces from that, right?
5 out of 14 are
so
gone.
That's like a third of the collection is already gone.
Yes, I don't know. I know one of my collectors show up the following weekend after the fact, and he fall in love with one of these big pieces like right away and got it home, and then at the reception time. A guy that I know, Joe Acker, involved in the arts in Houston, it's working right now as a collector, but helping this builder company build up their artwork for their
So he's helping curate collections. So he's kind of like a broker or an art representative.
So he show up at my party, saw the picture, got the brochure, met with the designer of the building, and the following week he sent me an email. I think I found you a buyer, and the sale has happened, and they collected 4 large pieces.
4 of the large pieces, yeah.
And I got the chance to deliver this to this fantastic building, and the pieces were now into this conference room. Facing these black monitors, and they really speak with each other because my photographs are really about the deep black with a strong subject in the middle.
So that's congratulations. That was first of all a really big sale, which is
really
great.
Big sale.
And there's a lesson there that when we finished that exhibition that night, the reception, you sold none. And we were like, oh my God, we just dropped a lot of money into this exhibition and a lot of work and sold nothing.
For us, any money, it's a lot of money.
Because
there's a lot of, unlike, I always say that, unlike paintings, production of photography is so expensive because it's required the printing and the framing and everything that goes in between.
Right, and you have to, particularly with these, with all that black, you have to frame them instantly because the minute someone touches them, they're ruined because they'll leave a mark on that black.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations. I'm very, very stoked, and it's a beautiful new building. Very, very, it'll get lots of kind of attention, some viewing there. And it's great to work with Joe. Hopefully we'll be able to do
and I
that in
connected
the
with
future.
actually with their designers as well.
Oh, good. You
And,
made those contacts at the building.
And she would like to, come by the studio and check things out periodically.
Absolutely. I think it's grand.
And talking about this, I want to bring up that return to Urbana. That I had a designer showing up a few weeks ago with a client, and they fall in love with these two pieces I had on the wall in the studio, except they were too small. So
And they're big.
they want to try larger sizes, and but they show up last weekend again. They talk about again, envision, measure, and I was like, you know what? I should just produce one, because even if this guy does not buy it, somebody
The interest
will
is
get
there.
it. And another thing I've done this week is to work on this possible commission.
And it's pretty large. Huh?
It's 40 by 36.
That's a big piece.
And he would like 2 panels like that, but I wanna create the first panel just to give them an idea how this is gonna look
the
like.
size and feel of it, yeah. And so basically, he saw something in the studio. You're creating a commission which will look different because they're embellished and things like that. It won't be the same, but it will have the same
The
elements.
idea is going to be the same, except I can't reproduce this kind of pieces.
Right, it's a one-off. It's not just another copy of another
you
photograph.
can call them variations, but each variation will be as a changing element.
Right. Congrats. That hopefully that'll continue to go well. If not, like you say, you've got a big statement piece that people do have interest in. So that's great.
And to continue this idea of me.
Well, that's it's all about you. I did a lot of research.
We got an invitation from a hotel in Navasota.
Yes.
They want to organize a art fair this year sometime. We don't know exactly.
It's in March, I think.
So somehow we got into their mailing list. So we got an invitation to submit a proposal. And so I did, and they got back to me, we really love what we've seen, so we are going to be in touch with you as soon as possible.
I did as well, yeah.
And now it's Navasota. There'll be a lot of tourists going to Navasota, and this kind of tourists, they usually love some sort of a Texana,
there's
countryside, fun
there's a definite
things.
look
And I don't
thereafter.
really have a lot of Texana things on Bogdan style. So I do have pictures of Texas and countryside. I needed something more fresh. I needed to work an idea. So I went to a driving trip a week ago, and I took some pictures from Anderson, all those buildings and
Beautiful
barns
little
and
town.
old streets. And so I took these pictures into the Illustrator, and I'm illustrating over, creating all kinds of elements, unexpected, and the idea is you have seen those pictures 1,000 times,
Right.
but you don't really expect to see them with these things floating around.
There's only so many cow, barn, and horse pictures you can see.
Yes.
When you want to see them differently, and that's why I think people are interested in anything that breaks the mold, but still has that Texana feel.
Yeah. So I want to create several photos with a mixture between photography and illustration, and have some fine art prints for this event whenever it happens.
Yes, and I'm going to try and do some printing techniques. I've ordered some supplies to actually do monoprints with the Texas themes as
how
well.
cool.
So I'm going to do all those on paper because my stall will be outside in a tent. He's going to be inside in the heat or air conditioning.
Me.
But it's really hard for Bogdan when you take photography outside in the elements with heat and humidity and sun, whatever, and it can start to warp the paper and ruin the art.
Well,
that doesn't happen so much with paintings. They're a little more resilient.
Now it will not ruin the paper. I mean, this is
could.
fine art photography. It will warp a little, it will wave, it will be stretched later on if you
Yeah, when the conditions are better.
take it home. But I rather have it nice and pretty rather than wavy.
Absolutely, and plus it's a little more comfortable for you.
But anyway, I think.
But we're thinking that having two stalls, that there are people who will come to the outside that won't go inside, and that way we may reach more people that way.
Yeah, and then hopefully this new idea is going to catch, and
It'll be a nice day out, and plus we love Navasota.
Yeah.
It's so funny because we actually tried to buy the building that this hotel is now a hotel.
we will have never.
We bought this place instead, so I still
would-
think we made a good choice. But
and we would have never had the money and
no, we would
the
never
energy.
been able to do what they've done.
No way.
But we'll take you along for that. We also are going to I think we're going, I applied, to an outdoor fair in Clear Lake in April. And that is the Texas Blues and Gospel Festival. So it's an outdoor music event. And so we've got that coming as well. So we'll see.
Now you tell us about the incubator.
The incubator program, I participated in the art lab at PRPGMX in Mexico City several years ago, and during the pandemic, and then that program has morphed, and it's a program with Michael Swank in Mexico City. He's now changed the name of the program from PRPGMX. I just learned to say that, and now he's changed the name. It's now called Art Gallery Studios in Mexico City, same place. And he had this online incubator program during the pandemic. It was kind of an online residency program that is now just turned into what he's calling an incubator. And so what we do is every other week we get together, there's about 10 people in the cohort, and we present what we're working on, we share ideas, we build off of each other. And it's a way, it's so important to have that kind of input from other artists. We get a lot of that at the studio because there's 50, 60 people at our studio. And a lot of those people we meet with every day. And a lot of what we do with them are kind of mundane things. Help me print this, help me create this document, help me with this exhibition, help me lift something heavy. And that's great. Those kinds of relationships are great. But we don't do a lot to support each other in doing art. Maybe some people do. We don't seem to have those kinds of interactions. What I love about the incubator program is it's a way that I can just have some time dedicate just to me, not to the business, not to a lot of other things, not even to Bogdan, to talk about my art with other people and to get inspiration. It also keeps me honest because it means that every other week I need to have something to show, that I'm working on some progress that I've made, some questions that I need answered. And so, yeah, it has gotten me back into the studio painting where I was just doing paperwork with the end of the year stuff, setting up exhibitions, setting up your exhibition, then the research for Aripa Arte. It gives me some time to spend just on my work. And it's been really rewarding so far, and we'll continue to do it. So,
Guys, if you enjoy what you've seen today, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to get more videos from us. And hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you, next time?
absolutely. Hopefully next week.
Next week.